Have you ever felt guilty for having emotions? Have you ever said, "I'm fine," even when you were falling apart? Do you struggle to ask for help, trust people, or believe that you're truly enough? What if those aren't personality flaws? What if they began long before you ever realized it? Sometimes, the deepest childhood wounds aren't caused by what happened to us. They're caused by what never happened. The comfort you never received. The emotions no one noticed. The support you quietly needed but learned to live without. And years later, those silent moments can still shape the adult you've become. The misconception. When people hear the words childhood neglect, they often imagine abuse or parents who didn't love their children. But emotional neglect is often much quieter than that. Sometimes your parents worked hard. They provided food, a home, and an education. They may have loved you the best way they knew how. But love isn't only about meeting physical needs. Children also need to feel heard, comforted, and understood. When those emotional needs are ignored, a child doesn't stop having feelings. They simply learn to deal with them alone. And that silent lesson can follow them for the rest of their life. Reason 1: They learn to hide their feelings. Children naturally look to adults to learn whether their emotions are safe. If every tear is ignored, every fear dismissed, or every feeling is met with, "You're too sensitive," or "Stop crying," they slowly stop expressing themselves. Not because the feelings disappear, but because they believe no one wants to hear them. As adults, they often smile while quietly carrying pain that nobody ever notices. Reason 2: They feel guilty for having needs. Every child needs comfort, attention, support, and reassurance. But emotionally neglected children often grow up believing their needs are a burden. Before asking for help, they hesitate. Before opening up, they tell themselves, "I'll deal with it myself." They become incredibly good at taking care of everyone else. But when it's their turn, they struggle to accept the same kindness. Reason 3: They struggle to believe they're truly loved. Children learn what love feels like from the people who raise them. When affection, comfort, or emotional support is missing, they don't stop wanting love. They simply stop expecting it. As adults, they may question the people who genuinely care about them. They wonder, "Why would someone choose me?" Or, "How long before they leave?" Even when someone truly loves them, part of them keeps waiting for that love to disappear. Not because they don't trust others, but because they never learned what secure love feels like. Reason 4: They become hyper-independent. Many emotionally neglected children grow into adults who rarely ask for help. From the outside, they seem incredibly strong, independent, and responsible. But underneath, they've simply learned that relying on other people often leads to disappointment. So they carry everything alone, even when someone genuinely wants to help. Because depending on others still doesn't feel safe. Reason 5: They lose touch with their own emotions. One of the quietest effects of emotional neglect is not knowing what you're actually feeling. Someone asks, "What's wrong?" And your answer becomes, "I don't know." Not because nothing is wrong, but because no one ever taught you how to understand your emotions. Over the years, you become so used to ignoring your feelings that eventually, you stop recognizing them. And it's difficult to heal something you've never learned to name. The effects of emotional neglect don't always end when childhood ends. Sometimes they quietly follow us into adulthood, into friendships, into relationships, and into the way we speak to ourselves. But here's the hopeful part. What wasn't given to you can still be learned. You can learn that your feelings matter. That asking for help isn't weakness. That being loved doesn't have to feel frightening. Healing doesn't begin when your past changes. It begins when you stop blaming yourself for surviving it. Because every child deserved to feel seen. And every adult deserves the chance to finally heal.